Creating a memorable horror game nowadays is a pretty tough challenge, but there's a new one called Claire for the PlayStation 4 that's trying to do just that and uses an old school pixel style of artwork for its gameplay. But does Claire scare up a good time, or is it an interesting concept that just ends up falling flat? Claire is a psychological thriller, survival horror-esque hybrid, mixing in a retro sprite-based style for its graphics. It draws a lot of inspiration from past horror games such as Silent Hill, Rule of Rose, and Haunting Ground. Without going into too much spoiler territory, you control the main character of Claire, who is visiting her mother in the hospital, and soon after the game begins, things start to go crazy, and the story of Claire and her past, and the things that she has done start to slowly unfold as the game progresses. The story, while I wouldn't say it's revolutionary by any means, definitely pulled me in, and I was interested to see how things were going to turn out, and why exactly things were happening the way they were. Being a 2D sprite-based game, it's all kind of corridor-based, with doors on either side you'll enter and go through different ones in order to explore the various areas such as the hospital, a school, and an apartment building. Along with your main quest, which usually will involve finding locked doors and having to backtrack or go and explore other areas in order to find objects and then bring them back in order to progress. Sometimes you'll have to explore for clues for a puzzle and then solve it in order to get a key item or to be able to open the next door that you need to. Throughout the course of your quest, you will come across a few side quests as well as collectible items, such as notes, which will give you a little background on some stuff or about the area or just some other interesting tidbits, as well as the game's kind of main hidden object, which are butterflies. There's also plenty of items scattered throughout, including batteries that you'll be able to recharge your flashlight with, as well as the game's various health items. The game does feature a decent inventory size where you can pick up plenty of the health items as well as a lot of the side quest items and a few other key things such as the lockpicks that you will need in order to unlock some of the unlockable random doors, usually not important to the story or anything, but finding these doors and unlocking them usually contains a couple of items or maybe a hidden butterfly. The side quests basically boil down to fetch quests. You'll find a random person and have to return an item to them that's spread throughout the various area that you're in. Unfortunately, when you go too far, go through certain doors, your past will end up being blocked, so you won't be able to go back and give certain items once you make it to a certain point in the game. Doing these fetch quests, though, will grant you karma, and you're going to want to do these because the karma will end up affecting the ending of the game, as the game features multiple different endings, with a lot of the key being that karma that you end up getting from the side quests that you end up completing. The game features a bunch of shadowy, creepy monsters, a few of which are pretty grotesque, and your goal is to run away from them and hide and try to make sure that you're able to get past them. Spending too much time will build up your stress meter, as well as if they're able to hit you, of course, you're going to lose health. There is no combat in the game. You're not going to have to worry about managing ammo or finding any sort of weaponry. There is a jump button in the game, so there is a little bit of light platforming, but it really isn't anything too involved, and there's no way to die from the platforming itself. One thing that I have a minor issue with in the game is the sprinting, or the run feature. They allow you to run for short distances before you end up kind of getting out of breath, and then you have to walk for a bit before you can run again, so they're trying to emphasize the whole running away from creatures at the right moment, but honestly it just ended up slowing down certain hallways, especially when backtracking from one end of an area all the way to the other once I found an item or needed to complete a quest. Claire is a relatively short experience, even though it does have multiple endings, so it definitely encourages replaying to make sure that you explore every nook and cranny for the side quest, as well as the various notes and butterflies, but it only took me about 2.5 hours in order to make my way through the game. Throughout the course of my gameplay, I didn't run into any stutters or slowdown or frame rate drops or crashing of any sort. Not that a game like this should really have any problem running on a PlayStation 4, but still, that was nice of course to see. As well as there are some good tracks to the music throughout the course of it. A few tracks definitely ended up standing out from everything. Graphically, with the whole sprite-based artwork to it, of course that's immediately going to be a turn-off for some, but for retro enthusiasts, and being both a retro and a horror enthusiast, I really like what they did. There's some really nasty and bloody-filled areas. I like some of the puzzles, a lot of them involving a lot of death, murder, and suicide, depression, and all kinds of things that go along with the Silent Hill and more psychological horror games, so Claire fits right in with that, which I definitely enjoyed. Claire is available for $14.99 on the PlayStation 4 as well as the PlayStation Vita, and it is a cross-buy, so if you buy it on one, you'll automatically also have it on the other. While Claire is a relatively short experience, there are multiple different endings as well as multiple different difficulties for you to tackle, which makes the game a lot harder as you're unable to continue as many times or even at all when you're playing on the harder settings. I like the story that's told throughout the course of the game, I liked its themes, I like some of the puzzles, and just the whole atmosphere. It's not a game for everyone by any means, but I think horror fans and retro fans will definitely enjoy Claire for what it is. In the end though, I'm going to be giving Claire Extended Cut a 7 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course I hope you enjoyed.